Eddie's. Welcome back to another episode of Eddie's. I am your trooper, Big Lou. And today we are back in Hohenfels as we talk about a love story in Hohenfels, part two. This is part two of our Hohenfels saga where me and my girlfriend Love, while I was over there in Hohenfels, we have Hohenfels right here in the background. This is the city part. Um, this is part two, where the continuing story of my life in Hohenfels, Germany, with Love and her crazy brothers. Now, from episode one, I'll just bring y'all up to speed real quick on some cliff notes. Episode one, made this girl half German, half African. She has six brothers. Three of them are well educated. Three of them are thugs. Her father has an exclusive um, life business. The exclusive life business, and the business is ran by the brothers. Um, Met the father. Father is very fond of me, and in this episode, we're going to continue on with some of the crazy things that I've gotten into while I was overseas in Hohenfels. So, first of all, I would like to welcome everybody back. Thank you for tuning in to and watch prior episodes. This is just Eddie's is a show that I talk about my life as a military brat. I grew up as a military brat, and I also joined the military. So these are all my escapades while I was in. Um, I tell them to all my friends and my family members, and some of them think they're hilarious, and they say I need to share these stories. So I'm going to share these stories. I'm also sharing these stories to start a community with all the veterans. Doesn't matter what your branch is: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, Reserve, Space Force. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're a vet, you take care of people, you put your life on the line for others. And you don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to be a first response worker. You could be anybody. Anybody can be a vet. If you're taking care of yours and you put your life on the line for others and you make sure others are safe and comfortable, then you're a veteran, and I welcome you and I salute you. So I salute you, regular workers, veterans, ex-military, ex-service workers. No matter what you do, I salute you. Thank you for your service, your support, and your sacrifice, and your due diligence. All right. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I have all the channel information down here, plus all the other social media platforms that I'm on. Make sure you log in. Join the community. Email me. I have my email address there. Make sure you email me if you have stories about your good times and your crazy times in the military. I'd like to hear them. I want to build a community so that people that are having problems and having post-traumatic problems with transferring from military life to regular life, this can be somewhere you can come, get a laugh, get back on the good side of things, and don't let this stress overwhelm you. And if you do need help, seek help. I have links in the descriptions to places that you can get in contact with that can help you bring your journey back and deal with some of the things that are going on. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Now, and also before I get started, this episode and all the episodes of Eddie's are sponsored by Rude Boy Artworks, Clothing and Accessories. Make sure you go to rudeboyartworks.com for anything, anything custom. They also have their own line of clothes and accessories. Check them out. Now, the link in the description. They also have their address. and their website so you could go and check out some of the stuff. I got another Rude Boy shirt on today. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me lean back in the chair. Yeah, we got the line going on. Yeah, I know I got the chest out. Just got through working out, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's just what Troopaloo do. But make sure you go to Rude Boys Artworks and get you some merch, get you some customized clothing. If you need airbrushing, anything of that nature, make sure you check them out. They also have a artworks classroom where they teaching where they have classes where you can color. They also have sip and color. They have color groups where they come in, color, have a good time. Social, it's good for social gatherings as well. So just check out Rude Boy Artworks. Show them some love. Also, we are sponsored by Muddy Waters Sports Bar and Grill. Good friend Tony G. If you're in the Shreveport, Bossier City area, make sure you go over to Muddy Waters or Lucky Joe's and have a good time. Muddy Waters also have steaks and things that they do on Thursdays, which I'm going to try to be a part of more. That's Muddy Waters Sports Bar and Grill, Lucky Joe's Bar and Grill, or Lucky Joe's Bar. So there's Muddy Waters Sports Bar and Lucky Joe's, and a good partner Tony G. Thank you very much, sir. You can find us also on the Sports Book with Tony G and Big Lou live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the TheP.C.X.N on YouTube and also on khamradio.com. All the links will be in the description. Thank you. Now that we've got the advertisements and the money out of the way, let's get to the story. Now, we're in beautiful Hohenfels, Germany. Love and her family are from Hohenfels, Germany. As my tour is coming close to a time for me to make a decision about what I'm going to do. I was only supposed to be in Germany for 2 years, but some things happened, and I was able to swap duties with another soldier that had some personal matters going, and he had to get back to the States to handle those. So I was able to swap tour of duties with him and let him go back to the States. And I was able to stay 2 more years in Germany. I don't know if that was legal back then. I don't know if I could do that, but they let me do that because, I did it for him. He needed to be at home with his family. I'm a young guy living my life, and plus I got things going on over here. So yeah, I stay another 2 years. So we go out back and forth. We go everywhere: Parsberg, Regensburg, Nuremberg, Munich. We just traveled all over Europe. We went to different clubs, different places. I got to see a lot of stuff, got a lot of sightseeing, and got to learn how to do a lot of things. Well, this particular night, we decided to go to Munich. We was going to go to the club. We went to Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is it's like the fair. It's something like the States Fair, except for, it's Germany. So you have a lot of tents with live bands. It's a lot of different food, different wines, different drinks. Like I said, it's just like the fair, but it's in Germany. And we went to Oktoberfest a couple of times, with Love and the Thugger Brothers. We did a lot of hanging out more with the Thugger Brothers than we did with the Bougie Brothers. And the reason why I say that is because the Bougie Brothers are the 3 brothers that are well educated. They went to school and they handle the legitimate business side of the family's operations. And you had the Thugger Brothers that handle the other side of the business of the family operations. So, okay, now that we've all got up to speed, so we go to Munich. I'm trying to remember the name of the club. I can't quite remember the name of the club that we went to, but it was a club in Munich that we went to. Nice club, big dance floor. Um, I used to perform there. Me and my friend Steele, my battle buddy and my good friend of mine. We used to go there, perform our music and stuff. You know, we was like some low key celebrities. You know, they thought we was like actual real rappers from America that just ended up being in the military. We just let that ride. You know, what I mean, why go against the grain? So we let that ride, get VIP treatments. You know, free drinks, whatever. You know, we balling. So regular routine. You know, we do our thing. You know, we get off. I'm hanging with my girl. We're all hanging, Steel's hanging, and we had a couple of other friends of ours uh, that were stationed with us that would go out with us, you know, to meet, have fun, you know, especially when I be telling them about the fun I was having. So Munich, Germany, we're at the club. We're doing our thing. Everybody's having fun. We're having a great time. We're popping bottles. Had a great show. Two encore performances. You know, we were doing our thing, taking pictures with everybody over there and everything. You know, selling CDs. You know, we would all that. We was doing all of that. And on this particular night, uh, a few Turks, a few Turkish, um, a few Turkish people decide to come to the club, and you know the Turkish they get VIP status too. You know they in their supercars, they park out front of the club. You know they the big shots. You know they got the big money, so you know with big money come big arrogance. So they you know they come to the club and everything. You know and they're sitting in VIP, we're sitting in VIP. You know, and everything was good. And you know it came time for us to perform another set. So me and Steel go. You know we go perform like two or three songs. You know every hour or so, maybe 2 hours, we do a couple songs just so, you know, they can have some live music or whatever. And we'll go chill. So we're chilling in the VIP. We chilling in the VIP. Me, Still, Willie. I'll just call the third party Willie. And the ironic part is the reason why I'm calling him Willie is because we were both our last names was Williams. It's just that his first name and my first name are similar. It's just he has an ARE in front of his first name, and mine is just regular. But anyway, so we're chilling, and back in that time, you know, the Turkish women were very fond of, you know, of the ebony man. They're very fond of the melanated man, and the Turkish would get, you know, they get a little jelly, little jealous, a little upset about that, because you know they driving the big cars, they got all the money. You know, I'm driving this nice Lambo outside, and other guy got a McLaren, and the other guy got a McLaren. You know, so you know we got big dollars, so they didn't understand why the hell, if I got all this money, why are you, you know, fond of the melanin man, of the black man, the ebony man? Couldn't figure that out. But, you know, it was just a certain swag we had. You know, they thought we were some real superstars because we were rapping. So they thought we were real superstars. So, you know, of course they're gonna flock to the star. That's what it is. And no sweat at the time. There wasn't no sweat. You know, everybody was chill. They'd come, sit in VIP, you know, would sign autograph, give a CD or whatever. They'll buy a CD or whatever, would sign it, you know, and give it to them, take a picture with them. You know, it is what it is, or it was what it was. All right. So we're chilling. Now mind you, everything is going great. Thugger brothers are chilling. You know, they in Mac mode. So, you know, they're always on the ready when it comes to handling business. Be it violent or non-violent. They're always at the ready. But it was just a chill night. Everything was going great. We ain't had no problems. Pop bottles, people dancing, you know, we're performing. Everything is great. Good atmosphere. So a couple of Turkish girls come over and they was liking on Willie. So they both, you know, sat down beside Willie and they was chopping it up or whatever. And I kind of back then I was like, damn, I should have came solo. But we're not gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into that. But anyway, everything was going cool. So as the night progresses, you know, Willie gotta go. he gotta go take a leak, use the bathroom rather. And he just, hey y'all, finna go and finna go to the bathroom, be right back. No sweat. So he gets up, goes to the bathroom. We're all still chilling in the VIP, having a good time, you know. And I've just noticed, just me being aware, I noticed that it's been a few minutes, he hadn't been back yet. And I'm like, well, I know this motherfucker ain't shitting in the club. Let me go ahead and check on this dude. And if he is, then he gonna hear about it. So I say, hey, I'm finna go check on Will. I ain't seen him in a minute. And still was like, man, he probably good. He probably take, he in the bathroom. I say, well, I'm gonna go check. So I go to the bathroom, check on Willie. And this motherfucker, and I see blood on the floor. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to the stall. It's really in the stall. He's conscious, but he's got a big ass zoom video, y'all. Big ass gash in his head. He was like, man, motherfucker came in here, man. I was taking a piss and the motherfucker hit me with a bop. I was like, you see what the fuck he looked like? He was like, no, not really, it was too fast. He's like, but I know that motherfucker was skinny, he had on all black. So I called Steele and everybody, and they go to the bathroom, they get him out of the bathroom, And my girl and Steele's girl is dressed in his room, and now Thucker Brothers are on high alert. I'm on high alert too, because I want to know who the fuck did it. I had a suspicion of who did it, but I didn't want to go there. I wanted to find out exactly who did it. So Thugger Brothers come up to me, brother, what has happened, brother? What has happened? Why is your friend? What happened to your friend? Your friend is bleeding. His head is busted. What happened, brother? Who did this to him? And I was like, hey, y'all, look, calm, everybody relax. Everybody calm down. I'm going to try to figure out who the fuck did this shit. I said, I think I know who did it. I said, but, I want to make sure that, these are the motherfuckers that I think did it. Of course, I think the Turkish did it because I know that they were jealous of us and that they women liked us. And to see their women that they brought to the club sit VIP with my man Willie, they ain't like that. They ain't like that. Because I'm the dude when you go out, I'm the dude that's always surveilling the area. I'm always watching who does what. I'm watching, actions of people. Who's the belligerent drunk? Who's the chill drunk? Who's gonna cause some motherfucking problems? I'm that guy. I'm always on alert. I'm like, okay, if we got to fight to get out this motherfucker, who do I strike first? What's our exit strategy? That's me. I come up with the exit plan. So, we're tending, they call for an ambulance or whatever to come out, and I'm still his girl and my girl ride to the hospital. Me and the Thugger Brothers, we chilling. We want to find who the fuck did this shit. So we told them, hey, y'all ride with the ambulance, y'all go to the hospital, make sure he's fine. We'll be there shortly. So we chilling. We just sitting in VIP, but we just being very observant. They was like, brother, we will find out who did this to Willie. We will find out who did this to Willie. And only God will be able to save them. I was like, okay, cool, because he was getting high. The youngest one always is the one that's ready for the smoke, ready for the action. I was like, okay, cool, we good. We just gonna sit here, and we just gonna look. So, we in VIP, they in VIP. And you're guilty until proven guilty. So they just kept looking over, they just kept looking over at our booth, just kept looking, and they'll say something, they'll whisper, they'll look over, without trying to look over. But I back then I was a cool dude, like I got on shades now for no reason. But there's a reason because of the light, but they ain't got nothing to do with the story. But anyway, So I'm just watching these guys, and little bro, he's sitting beside me. He's watching them. He was, "Brother, I have a suspicion that they might be the culprits for this." And I looked at little bro. I said, I got motherfucking suspicion that it was these motherfuckers too, because those are the two girls that was hanging out with Willie before he went to the bathroom. So they were sitting over there with them, and they just kept looking at us, smirking, and. So I was like, "Hey, y'all chill, keep an eye on them. If it take a walk real quick, y'all chill up here for a second. We have your back, brother." So while they did that, and I had came to the conclusion that, oh, these motherfuckers had something to do with it, I decided to go outside to the car. Now, didn't have a pew pew, illegal pew pew over there. I didn't have all that. Didn't need it really. Everywhere we went, we kind of handled the situation where we handled it. But I didn't need a pew pew. So no pew pew. I went to the trunk. But what I did have a T-ball bat. Little miniature T-ball bat that your little kids, that your toddlers practice with. But it was all aluminum. I always kept that in the car for just in case. Just in case you have a flat on the road or side of the road or something, and some wildlife or something jump out the bushes, you got to be at the ready. So back then, what we would do is when me and Steele performed, we always wore NFL, NBA, MLB, whatever sport, we would rock that sport, and for the most part, I rocked mostly Louisiana stuff, but I wore everything. I'm a Dodgers fan, I wore the A's, I wore it all, hip hop. And these were the starter bomber jackets, the puffy jackets, with the tight sleeve, the puffy jackets with the tight sleeve. They was nylon. You knew they was kind of shiny. We all knew what they looked like. And what I did was I slid my T-ball bat right up under that sleeve part. Slid my T-ball bat, had the big part cuffed in my hand. So now I'm walking back in the club because they really don't pat you down. Especially me, me and Steele, we were celebrities. So they never patted us down. So I walked back in the club. I got the T-ball bat in my sleeve, in my hand. And walking back in the club. And as this is going on, y'all, it almost felt like Belly. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody watched Belly before, but if you haven't, there's a scene where Nas and DMX walk into the club and it's all slow and everything's moving slow. And I swear, I bet the theme music. Now, I don't even think Belly was out when I was over there, but this is the description I can give you. Just type Belly in YouTube. It'll pop up. That scene will pop up, but everything was moving slow. And it just, it felt like I just had some gangster movie theme music in my brain as I'm walking in this club. Walking through the club, everybody's dancing. It just feels like I'm moving in slow motion because I'm walking, doing my thing, walking real slow and shit. Got the T-ball back puff in the sleeve, so I'm walking like I'm big. Cause, kind of a big dude, so I can walk buff like that, And I'm walking back towards our seat. And I gotta walk by these guys, So as I'm walking by them, I'm looking at them, and they snickering and laughing and shit. And one of them gonna point at me, and I heard him mumble under his mouth, "Monkey man." Monkey man. So I stopped. I looked over at all of them, looked them all down. I just, did a peripheral of all. It was four. It was four of them sitting there with the two chicks. So I just walked up. I looked over, saw little bro. He gave me one of those. I gave him one of those. I looked. flicked my wrist like flicked it like Spider-Man, like I was gonna throw a web, but I wasn't throwing no web. When I flicked my wrist, the fucking T-ball bat slid out my sleeve in my hand, and I went to work. I hit 4 home runs. We'll put it like that, because you can't say, even though statute of limitations, they can't do nothing with it now. But just to be on the safe side, let's just say I had T-ball practice on 4 Turkish dudes' craniums. I just slid down, bing, bing, and bing. All 4 of them got hit. Didn't touch the ladies. They got the fuck out the way. Hit all 4 of them because I didn't know which one of them did it, but I knew one of them did it. So in order for me to get the person that I thought, or I didn't miss the person that did it, I just hit all the motherfuckers with the T-ball bat. Hit all 4 of them. And it was chaos after that. After I did that, everybody got running. They running. I'm steady running behind motherfuckers, hitting them in the head with the bat. I lost it. Because I saw the white meat in my friend's head from the gash of what the fuck he got hit with. He said it was a bottle. Excuse me. He said it was a bottle. So, I got fight fire with fire. You hit my mans with a bottle, I'm hitting y'all with a bat. I had to equal it out. So I'm hitting all 4. Bing, 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 bing. Now it's just chaos erupts. They're running. I'm running after them, hitting them. The whole club is in chaos. Fights break out. So you got me running behind Turkish guys with a T-ball bat. You got my thugger brothers that are running after them too because they want to get their lick in. And I was swinging, so I don't know if the butterfly knife came out. I don't know. Maybe it did. I'm not sure. But we fucked that club up that night. I'm talking about everything. Bottles, smashing motherfuckers. I was just swinging. I didn't give a fuck who I hit after that. I was just swinging. And yes, I did get to get whoever it was. We still didn't figure out who the fuck hit him, but I knew it was one of those. So I got all 4 of them upside the head with the T-ball bat. Now their heads ringing and they're running and I'm running after them. These are 4 people. It's just me and a bat. 4 people. And I'm chasing after them with the bat. Big guy, bat, bing, you know how it goes. So the whole fucking club is in fucking chaos. Shit getting tore up, glass getting broke, shit getting thrown. It just went bananas. So now that the chaos erupt, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. I done already got my licks in. Gotta get up out of here, before the police come. So we working our way out the club. We get outside, 20 motherfucking cops, AK-47s pointed at our faces. Everybody get on the ground. Everybody in the motherfucking club. Everybody coming out the door, getting them on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And once again, back to jail. Back to prison. Now, the police side take you to jail. Pops sends big bougie brother. He comes gets us. No problem. They just count the cash out. What you cost? How much it cost? I didn't know how the system worked over there. My friend got hit upside the head with something and it gashed his head and I needed to get retaliation for that. So yeah, bust him up real good. After that, we'll get, everything gets settled. So now I had to pay the father back. He was generous, he was cool. He was cool with what I did, but it cost him money. So now I got to pay him this money back. So in order for me to pay him this money back, I gotta do a little bit of family business. Now I gotta do a little bit of family business to pay him the money back that he had to pay to fix the club and to get us out of jail. Because it was my fault why they was in jail in the first place, because I could have just fought him. But that wouldn't have been fair. Because for me to just fist fight them and them hit my friend with a bottle, that would have been fair. He got struck with an object that gashed his head. So I had to give them the same amount of pain and punishment to equal it out. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I just want to make things equal. Fuck up a boy, fuck you up. Everything's equal. Okay. So now I got to pay the father back. Before I get into that, Willie turned out to be okay. It was just it was a nice gash. They had to stitch him up. But no CTE, nothing was wrong. It's just, big ass gash from the bottle breaking on his head. So after this is over, I have to go back to Hohenfels. I got to go back on base and explain why the fuck was I detained in Munich, Germany. And I told him what happened. It wasn't necessarily all true, but I told him what happened. And I was like, well, this is what happened. And I was trying to protect my mans. So, I decided to use violence as my form of retaliation. So I had a choice to make. I either had to go from E4 to E2 and get sent back to the States, or I could keep my E4 and do 90 days in the rock quarry. Now, there's a rock quarry place where mostly big time screw ups in the military have to go working. They don't have a choice because they are military locked up, and that's what they go do. They go to the rock quarry and they work there. So that's what my punishment was, or quote unquote punishment. They had to do something. They had to do something with me for what happened. So keep my E4, I had to go and work at this rock quarry for 90 days. So I was in shape in a month. So I worked at this rock quarry for 90 days, making big rocks and the small ones. And that's how I was able to keep my rank and get out of there. But that was the military side of what happened with that incident. On the other side, the father was like, okay, I had to spend a little amount of money to clean up the mess that you and my sons made in the club at Munich. So you have to pay me back that money. It is your fault. You have to pay me back. And I was like, okay, so how we gonna work this out? Because how I get paid. I get paid on the 15th and the 1st, and I could probably have it allotted out my check into your account. He was like, no. That is not necessary. You will pay me back by working for me. I was like, shit. Now, not only am I dating his daughter, and I'm one of the bros now. Now I have to work for him. So, of course, I had to work with the thuggers. I had to work on that side of the fence because that's the quickest way of me making his money back without it being noticed that I'm making his money back. Now, as I was making his money back, I was making me some money as well. Come on now. Come on now from Shreveport. So as I was making his money back, I was making a little money for being still, we was doing all the things I, still. Shout out to my boy, man, love you to death, but he had my back. He was 10 toes down, regardless of what the hell. So, we went and we was hanging with the thuggers. We had to run with the thuggers and make his money back. So, I'm running with the thuggers, doing what I'm doing, making legal businesses transactions in foreign countries. Exactly. Doing exactly what I'm doing, obeying every law to make, father his money back. And I did that. Made him his money back, made me a little scratch on the side, and kicked a little bit to all the bros. They was like, what? Brother, what? I was like, it's on me. Don't worry about it. All right, cool. So that's how that incident happened. Now, we're dating, we're having fun, we're growing as a couple. She's talked to my mom. I let her talk to my mom. I called my mom and I let her talk to my mom. And my mom was very pleasant and very nice and kind. And she was like, get the phone back to my son. So she gave me the phone back and she was like, look here. She said, I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to promise me that you're going to do this. I was like, sure, mom, whatever, your mom, whatever. She said, do not bring anything back that you didn't take over there. And I was like, oh, she was like, no, listen to me. Do not bring anything back to the U.S. that you didn't take with you. And I knew exactly what she meant when she said that. So, here we go. Time goes on, and now I have to make a decision because it's coming close to the time for me to rotate back to the States. The time is getting close. I had to lie. I had to lie and tell them that I was staying there longer than I actually was because I knew one day I was going to have to leave and it was going to be bad. So we went out and I took her, we went everywhere. We went to we visited castles. We went to a lot of different cities. We went to Munich. We went to Vilsack, Berlin. We even went to Hitler's ski resort. It's in Berchtesgaden, is what it's called. Everybody that was in Hohenfels know Berchtesgaden is in South Bavaria, almost in the Alps, almost in the mountains, And it was Hitler's one of Hitler's ski resorts that they turned, they turned it to an amusement area, or it was a ski resort for everyone. And they had it set up for the military to do USO stuff there, and it was great. They had nice bars, but it was up there, like ear-popping mountain park. And we had a great time. I learned how to snow. I learned how to ski in the snow. Kind of telling the business. Never mind that part. But anyway, so as we're going up the ski slope. They show me how to put the gear on, et cetera, et cetera. I'm all excited. I'm a little kid, I'm from Shreveport. I'm from the top of the bottom of the boot. So I ain't never did no skiing or nothing like that. We've been stationed a lot of places while, we was traveling with my dad, but never nowhere where we had to go skiing. So their ski lift is kind of different. Here in the States, you hop on the chair, the chair comes, you hop, sit in the chair, boom, takes you up the hill, and then you hop off, then you slide down, ski down the hill. Well, at Berchtesgaden, it's a little different. They have this little cable and this hook. You put the hook between your legs, right? And it pulls you up the slope. Pulls you up the slope. All you gotta do is just ride on your skis up the slope. Now, mind you, I can't ski. Can't ski yet. Hadn't learned yet. So as it moves, that 1 foot goes out, I fall. We have to stop because they stop it. When someone falls, you get back up, whatever. Go up the hill a little bit more, say we make about a good 2-3 feet, I fall again. They stop. Now motherfuckers are getting restless because, they like, hey, motherfucker, if you can't fucking ride the thing, just walk. And I'm like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I paid money to be in this mug. Actually, I didn't, but I act like it. So I'm going to ride this. And, of course, I'm a military dude, Army at that. I'm not finna be defeated. When I see little kids 4, 5 years old riding this little shit up the hill and sliding down the hill and shit with no ski poles, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not letting no little kids outdo me. You know what I'm saying? It's Trooper Loop. So after about 25 minutes, of going up the hill, even Love got irritated. She was like, well, I'll walk with you. She was like, I'll walk with you. And I was like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna ride this up this fucking hill. So 25 minutes out, we got to the top of the hill, and I'm doing the whole, if you want to slow down, you turn your skis in and straighten them up, going through all the motions. And after about a couple of hours, learn how to ski. Learn how to snowboard as well. I do a little bit of skateboarding, so snowboarding wasn't really that hard. Now, I'm not finna go out here and join any Red Bull and X Games. I'm not that with the shit. But I can stay, I can balance myself and ride that motherfucker down the bunny hill. So that counts as a nigga knowing how to snowboard, all right? Okay, so, but we had fun. We had a great time. And it was just me and her. I wanted to just create some memories with her. So I didn't go out with the thuggers. Thugger brothers and the bougie brothers didn't go with us. Still didn't go with us. It was just me and her. I just wanted to spend some time with her and give her the best time because I knew what time was coming. So everything is going great. Once I got Pops paid back, I had to have a sit down with him. This was the sit down. I paid him back his money. And he's like, excellent, my son. You are a man of your word. You said you would pay me back. I gave you an opportunity, and not only did you pay me back, you paid yourself back. Yes, I knew you was doing that, but that is okay. He says, now we need to discuss the future of you and my daughter. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, here we go. He says, I admire you. You're a very honorable man. You're a very wholesome man. And your aura radiates stability, and it radiates safe, and it radiates honesty. And I would like for you to leave the army, come live with us and our family as my son. You will have your own vehicles. I will get you and my daughter your own place to stay, where you are by yourselves and you're growing as their own family. But you must get out of, and do not take offense to this. Don't take offense to this. But this is just a term that he used. You must get out of the colonizer's army and come live and work with us. So you and my daughter can have a happy life. You will have anything that you need. I can provide for you, and you can provide for your family. The army does not need you. Your skills are needed with your people, not with the colonizer's army. So this man was trying to tell me to go AWOL from the army and come stay with them, marry his daughter, and I'm good after that. So, and couldn't say no. In fact, I'm finna fucking say no. I'm in this man's house dating his daughter, and he didn't gave me this invitation. And I don't think I could have said no. I had to say yes. So I said, yes, I'll do it. I say, but what I'll do is I will do my remaining tour on base. And once it's over and I'm supposed to transfer back to the States, he said, I'll just have y'all come get me like you're taking me to the airport. Because once you're out processed, then you're out processed. And everybody's full of hate because they ready to go back to the States. They can't go. And they see you going, I don't want to give you a fucking ride to the airport. Nah, fuck that. Motherfucker, I got another 2 years in this goddamn icebox. And you taking your ass home to the States and say, fuck that. I don't even want to go through that. I don't want to go through the process of seeing you doing it. So fuck you. Nah, ain't nobody taking you. So you had to make your way, in other words. Now, I flew home commercial, so that's why. But that's a story for later. Uh, but I could have took a military hop, which is where you hop uh planes, be it mail or shipping equipment. You hop planes from bases back to the States until you get to your destination. They just hook you up with flights that's going to your destination. Barksdale was my closest destination, so they got me some, but now I'm getting into another story. I'll talk about that later. So we double back around. So now I've been handed this ultimatum. And as the months are going by, I got to figure out, fuck, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? How am I gonna pull this off? Because I could definitely see myself in the position that he's talking about. I could definitely see myself, I living in Germany, rich. No, fuck that. Wealthy ass people, beautiful woman, brothers got my side, career set. All I got to do is stay in Germany with these people that have grew to love me and marry his daughter. Marry his daughter. I'm set for life. Now, I may not be able to come back to the States and see my parents like I want to. I had to plan for that. But it wasn't no problem with that. He didn't have a problem with that. He was like, oh, yes, you can go see your family and, have your family come see us. I would like to meet your father and thank him for raising such a phenomenal son. So, weeks, months going by. Love and I are just, and she was, enjoying it. She was enjoying it. She was like, I've never had anyone to just, dive so deep and fit so well. You fit so well with both, with both sets of my brothers, and my father loves you. My mother think you're the greatest. And she said, I definitely love you. And she said, I can't believe this is happening. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like a dream, what we got going on and, some of the adventures that we're having. And came close to the time. It was getting close to the time. I was like 30 days out. It was 30 days out. And I told her that I was leaving in 90 days. I told her I had, 3 more months. And then, everything will be fine. I'll be out of the military. I'll be done with my tour here. And instead of flying back to the States, I'll just stay here. Go AWOL. Fuck it. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? The money and the way everything was set up for me, if I had done it, I'm pretty sure my parents would have been okay with it. They would have been fine with it, because they were straight. Anything that I asked or needed, they was going to make sure that happened. But I couldn't do it, y'all. I couldn't do it because I was like, okay, so this is, I was thinking about my career. I was thinking about my family. I was thinking about my father, and I was like, there's no way in the hell I could just leave just stay here. Go AWOL from the military. Now I got that over my head. Come back to the States and getting court-martialed and handled. So I wouldn't have no choice but to stay in Hohenfels. They would have never found me here. Trust me. Trust me, they would not have found me here. You know, Germany's too spread out of a place, and then it's country town. So they wouldn't have found me. I'll just put it like that. They would have never found me had I decided to stay. But I did. And that was the worst. I think that was the worst thing that I've done in my life. That was the absolute worst thing that I've done in my life, is to lie straight up in their face. I lied to these people and told them I was staying, and I got up out of there. I said, look, I got 3 more months in Germany. We're gonna go visit some more places and stuff like that. And I said, as soon as I'm done, I'm coming home. I'm coming home to you, and we can start our life together. And I'm sorry, I had to lie, because there was no way in the fuck that I was gonna tell them no, I'm going back to the States. That would have been devastating. So I just left. No goodbye. No, I'm sorry. No explanation. Hey, look, just like your family's first, my family's first. There was nothing I could explain to them to where my no would make sense. Not to them. Because they looking at it like, fuck it, you could get out. I got you. If your family needs something, we got them. They want to come over here, we got them. But couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to come back. I had to come back to the States. I had to come back to my family. Make sure they was okay and pursue my career. My father had a 23-year career in the military. I made it to E8. I didn't make it that far. It was different military in the States than it was overseas. So I didn't make it that far. Did do 10. I did get my E5. I did become a non-commissioned officer. I did that part. But I didn't retire from the military. Do I regret it? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I regret not staying in and retiring, because, I could have been in a better position when I got out than I was. But hindsight is 2020. So that's done and gone. But yes, the ending was very, very bad. Very bad. Because I had a phone while I was over there. She couldn't call me. She didn't have an address to reach me by. All she knew was that I was this big black guy that could rap his ass off and could fight his ass off and love me to death, and just had some great adventures and great times. And I saw this man as my future husband. That's what she saw. And it sucks. The karma of it is, when I did get back to the States, after, now that I put it in retrospect and I look at my timeline, I think that explains, or that's the karma for not having a son. I have all daughters, and 2 divorces. 2 of them shits. 2 divorces. So, and raising daughters the whole time. Both raised my daughters, or attempted to raise my daughters, while I was in the military. That didn't work out too well. And I also raised daughters, or helped raise daughters, from other guys' children. Helped raise, daughters, no sons. Never had a son. So I think that was probably the karma from that, you know, for not telling the truth. The karma was, well, you won't have a son. You are the final product. Is there one in Germany? Hell, I don't know. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. To my knowledge, there are no little loos, little trooper loos running around in Hohenfels. I was the only one, to my knowledge. But that's what happens, y'all. Sad. It was a sad ending because, and there's, we've had other adventures and stuff, and I might, every now and then I'll give you a nugget to where I tell another one of our adventures while we were over there. Because, what's a story without a love story? Right? So that's what happened, y'all. I had to lie to these people that were excellent to me, great to me. I had to lie to them and go back to the States. So that's why we had the time that we had, and never never wrote. I wanted to, but I couldn't. I was like, man, it just got to end the way it ended. And that's what happened, y'all. It was great. I got into a lot of adventures with these guys. And to this day, do I regret it? Don't regret it, because my life still was great. I still had a great life. And I still had a lot of adventures and things that I got to do here that were outstanding. To even have this platform, I've done some things. I've done some things that are, to some pretty amazing, and to some pretty funny, and to a lot of people pretty fucking stupid. Pretty stupid stuff. But it is. You're growing. You learn. You live and you learn. But that's the sad part about it, y'all. I had to leave. No explanation. I just dipped. Regret, and I think about it now. Could have done. I try to come up with scenarios to say, hey, how could I done this differently? I couldn't have, because they were attached to me. So that was the only thing I could do, was just lie about when I was leaving and dip. And that's not all of the Hohenfels adventures. That's a love story in Hohenfels. That's what that was. Love story of me, love, the six brothers. I mean, they were the absolute best, you know. And and getting a little emotional now, reflecting, telling the story now that I've, refreshed my mind with the story of Hohenfels. It kind of puts me back in that place. And man, it was crazy. But love story Hohenfels part two. That's it, y'all. That's my love story in Hohenfels. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It was wild and crazy. I have more Hohenfels adventures to talk about, and some of them are with Love and the brothers. I just wanted to give y'all the love story first. I want to give y'all the story of what I was involved in and what I did, and I want to get that out the way first, because they are involved in 85% of my adventures in Europe. And hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I think that's it for this episode. The conclusion of a love story in Hohenfels. We got more stories from Hohenfels coming up. Next, I had to tell y'all about the time that we went to the red light district in Frankfurt. So that's the next episode of At Ease, the Hohenfels edition. We're going to talk about when we went to Frankfurt, Germany, and visited the red light district. And this is a crazy story as well. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of At Ease, a love story in Hohenfels. Its conclusion. Uh, like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you email me at both email addresses. If you have a story or an adventure, please contact me. We'll get together, and I want you to come on the platform and tell your story. I want this to be a place where everybody can come tell us about your funny, crazy adventures in the military, because we all got them. We all have them. We had to bury them because, during that time, sometimes your ego and the type of person that you used to be, you're not now. But it's good to reflect on all the good and funny times that we had so that we can help our fellow comrades dealing with certain situations. And if you have a situation that you're dealing with, make sure that you go get the proper assistance to help you, because no one is above help. No one is above help. And yes, we do play the role of the superhero sometimes, but even superheroes have to have help. And you have a bunch of super friends out there that are willing and waiting to give you any and everything that you need so that you can deal with those things. I have a link in the description, also down below. Here's some links to some places that you can get in contact with, and they will give you all of the information that you need to get you back on the right track. We love you guys. We support you guys. And we're going to make sure, and as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to make sure that I have content to help you guys and to entertain you guys so that you could be and laugh and love along with us. Thank you everyone for tuning in to At Ease. I'm your Trooper Big Lou. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Shout out to my sponsors, Muddy Waters, Lucky Joe's Cafe, and Rude Boy Artworks. Um, I like to thank them for, you know, putting in the effort and the time to help me do this. And I'm glad you guys are part of it and you're on board. I thank you very much. This has been At Ease. I am your Trooper, Big Lou. I salute all my veterans, non-veterans, and regular folk and superheroes out there. Salute. Keep being great. Keep being wonderful. Keep being excellent. There's love for everyone here. This heart it's big enough to love everyone. Thank you very much. Peace, at ease, and have a great day. Thank you. Till the next time.